Hello guys, I'm Josh from Scarebox. Today we're going to do a retrospective of the Sanctuary at Alton Towers. So this is a maze, I caught at it like just before it left in 2014. It's a maze that I feel like really was iconic and people really have a fond sort of feeling of it, and my opinion's a bit more sort of layered, I'd say. I personally enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's the best maze I've ever gone through, but I definitely understand it for its unique, sort of more, I guess, traditional, but equally a bit of a whack theme, as the kids those days. So the Sanctuary Alton Towers. So one thing I liked about this attraction from the off is just the queue line. They'd play like sort of this, I think I'm going to add the music in the editing for this podcast. It's a very like serene, sort of misleading music, meant to be sort of ironic. I guess the Smilers theme, it's very like fake happy, and that's kind of what they're going for here. In terms of the starting scenes, you speak to Dr. Kelman, sort of one of the head doctors. I think it's the Ministry of Joy they used to call it. Quite a cool theme. Sort of theme to making people like a smiler, try and make them smile. Towards the end of the maze they get more aggressive with it, but at the start it's a bit more subtle. And that's the thing with Sanctuary, it's paced really, really well, but I'd say it's quite a slow paced maze in that like it starts off kind of slightly creepy and it gets creepier and creepier and creepier. Some unique sort of parts of the maze. There's one room where it's just like, I believe it's just all white, and there's just like a fog. Very disorientating, and then you watch the screen towards the end, and you watch the screen with this very like disturbing video. Yeah, I think the Sanctuary, its main boon was its sort of weirdness at points, but also sort of the story and the theming. The maze had great theming, had a very unique theme. And it definitely ran with the theme, and that was the point that I really liked about the Sanctuary. I think it had some very unique scenes and theming, and it had a lot of sort of very different style to a lot of mazes. It felt very distinct, but the negatives I'm about to get crucified for some of what I'm about to say. I wouldn't say this is as scary as a lot of other mazes I've been through. I'd actually say it's like slightly tame. It does get creepier and creepier and creepier. I would describe it as creepy and not scary. And that's actually not a bad thing, guys. Like, it doesn't always have to be like full on intensity, but definitely something that, like, if you remember Sanctuary as being like balls to the wall scary, like, I think personally it wasn't, but we're all different, right? But yeah, the maze. The main thing I didn't really like was probably the strobe section at the end. It kind of had, I don't know, it felt too similar to its next door Terror of the Towers, and it felt like it was doing it worse. But I don't know, it was a very unique maze, but the ending felt really like run of the mill and a little bit sort of out of place. But yeah, the ending I think was the main point where I really liked, because you build up the maze so slowly, like it gets creepy and creepy and creepier. You're waiting for a finale, and the finale just kind of like a lead balloon. Though that sounds quite bad. It was a great maze. I'm just sort of picking to what the worst traits of it. But yeah, I think they should have kept it around longer, I think, and maybe done some changes. I think the theme is really, really unique, and there's never going to be a maze like it. So I'm a bit upset they got rid of the maze. But equally, I guess, the year after, in 2015, they added such a unique slew of mazes, like subspecies, that kind of thing. Another thing to note about the Sanctuary was they did indeed... what was they going to say? So basically, the maze left, I think, for one big reason. The Smiler incident was, I think, one of the big ones. Being tied to the Smiler, I think, was its biggest downfall, and that's why it left. Because if it came back in 2015, I think that would have caused loads of issues, because it's tied with the Smiler theme. A big crash just happened. Obviously, it wouldn't have been a good look. But I guess it had a good run. It ran for 3 years. I think it opened during the summer or something of 2013, so it didn't go to waste, but definitely amazed that could have lasted a few more years or had some changes, but hey ho. I think to those who went through it, it was quite an iconic attraction and it will be remembered, hence why this is a podcast. Right? But yeah, I rank it as a solid maze, but I do sort of think it has its problems, and yeah, it wasn't perfect. I actually preferred, oh my god, I'm about to get killed for this opinion. On that same year, I actually preferred Terror of the Towers, and that's gonna, everyone's gonna be like shouting at this podcast, and you know, they're gonna be like, I'm never watching this guy again, like what the fuck is wrong with him, but don't kill me, right guys. We hope you enjoyed that podcast, just a short one. I'm trying to keep these quite short because I don't feel like, I'm not about that as like 40-minute ones. Like, fair enough to those who can make 40 minutes of content at a time. I personally can't. I just CBA. So I also don't want to stretch out anything too long either. Like, I can't bother to stretch out a topic for 40 minutes because, like, I don't know, I just want to make things like as quick as possible and fluid as possible, so you guys can, can watch this during like a break or something, or I don't know, you've got like a spare time, if you have spare time. So guys, have a great day. I'll see you. Bye.